really terrible, but I need to know. And whatever it is, it does not matter. It's not more important than my own life. I know it's not more important than my own life. Certainly not more important than the lives of the other people on the road around me. And I think that's why I come to you. You know, put your phone on silent. Change your voicemail so it says you can't pick up because you might be driving. If you're a passenger, even if you're not driving yet, you have to have, I mean, it really takes guts. It's hard to speak up. But you have to be able to say, hey, that's not safe. Let me take care of it. Please don't use your phone. And it's all those things coming together with the awesome laws of New York State that are really going to make this change in our culture.
Thank you, JC. First of all, congratulations. You never told me you were getting married this October. I mean, I saw a lot of smiles on the faces of these students that are here, and we're delighted for you. But your message is so critically important, and that's why we're here. Kristen, pretty powerful, huh? Of what, it's not a story, it's not made up. This is her life, and this is what she's living. She lost her parents. She survived. She doesn't know how she survived. We're glad you survived. It's frightening, isn't it?
It's scary, too, because, I mean, we're always told don't text and drive, but now you realize that it's not only texting. It can be talking on the phone, or it can be changing music. It can be anything, and you can risk your own life and someone else's life just by doing something. So it's scary. You
know, and you said something before that kids, the youth of today, never think that anything's going to happen to them, but it's just the opposite. Trooper, let me ask you a question. When I look at the statistics of a startling statistic that at any given moment, nationwide, any given second, any given moment, more than 100,000 drivers are texting. In New York State alone, in 2012, there were issued over 215,000 tickets for cell phone violations and more than 30,000 for texting. You know, as a lawmaker, I always question myself, are the laws working? And I'll throw that back to you.
Sure, I think, like JC said, our laws are some of the toughest in the nation. It's just education, enforcement, it's all hand in hand. We can only tell someone that this is unsafe and not to do it, but people will still do it. These are the people we caught, the hundreds of thousands that the senator just said. Think of the people we're not catching, the people slipping by, the people doing things that are unsafe, that it's an epidemic. And, you know, every time we write a cell phone ticket, we write a texting ticket, you know, we feel like we did something. If it causes one person to, you know, that $150, that's really going to keep me from doing it again, if that's what it takes. Just like our seatbelt tickets, we write, if that's what it takes someone to wear a seatbelt, so be it. If that's what it is. We don't care why you do it. Just
you know, driving is not a right in New York State. It's a privilege. And there are some violations, drunk driving, some other issues that we focused on that we believe at a certain point individuals should lose that privilege. Christian, I'll go back to you. Would raising the fines, increasing the points, right now it's 3 points on your driver's license. It's pretty serious. Would raising the fines, increasing the points, or at some point, these perpetual violators who continually get citations or tickets for texting or while they're on the cell phone, at some point do they lose that privilege?
I think they should. I mean, hopefully after a certain amount of times you would realize maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but it doesn't go through some people's heads. So I think that increasing the fines or whatever has to be done should be done, because plenty of people are getting hurt from it.
Yeah, and you know, JC, it's the question of why we're here today, to send a message, to heighten the awareness to the dangers of this. You know, research and some research reports have now shown that texting while driving is as dangerous, or if not dangerous, than drunk driving. You agree?
I agree 100 times that anything you're trying to do, cell phones specifically, are making us as bad as drunk drivers. And it's not okay to go out and get wasted and try and drive. And I mean, not that any of you guys know what that's like, but you know that. You know you won't drink and drive. It's not okay. And cell phones are every bit as dangerous as getting drunk and trying to drive, and we need to do something about that.
Well, I'll pose the same question to you as I did to Christian. As you know, it's a privilege. It's not a given right to have a driver's license here in New York State. At some point, do these individuals that constantly break the laws with texting and driving, do they lose that privilege?
I think without question these people should be losing that privilege, because repeat offenders are the people who are taking lives. and there's no reason those people should be allowed to keep the license that allows them to drive. And I think one of the biggest differences that can be made is by sharing stories, by going home and saying, hey, I made a friend today. She lost both her parents in a car crash. We can watch it on the webcast,
Right.
whatever it is, to try and make our roads just a little bit safer.
So one of the issues that I always face as a legislator and as chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, are our laws strong enough? Are they strong enough here in New York State?